Hey guys, welcome to another video on Bharat and Germany. My name is Bharat, and in this video, I have a very special guest with us who is Azhar from Argentina. So, we are going to discuss with him how it is to live as an Indian in Argentina, what are the living costs, what are the job opportunities, and so on. Azhar, welcome to the channel. Tell us a bit about yourself, and then we jump into the questions.
Hi, Bharat. First of all, thanks for having me with you in this channel. Yeah, so I lived in Argentina for a year and now I'm back to India. So I have been sharing a lot of videos about Argentina in my channel so that the other parts of the world needs to know what's going on in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
That was my prime motive. Most of them, especially Indians, do not know what's happening in Argentina. When I Googled while I was in Argentina, I was living in Buenos Aires, the city, the capital city of Argentina. And it was so surprising that there were only 150 Indians in Buenos Aires. And I would say that 50 of them were in my company that I work for itself. So
Mm-hmm.
that was quite surprising. So that's why I wanted to share the things of Argentina to the world through my YouTube channel.
Very nice. Yeah, I think like this is always interesting to see. When I came to Germany, I also saw the same thing that like essentially there must have been so many Indians living in Germany. I think like above easily like above 100,000 people like Indians who are living in Germany. But like essentially nobody like took out the time to make these videos to like educate other
Yeah.
Indians or something like how it is to like live in these different countries. And then I
Yeah,
started
I
doing the
saw a
same.
few. Yeah, I saw a few of your videos. You had one video where you rant about the jobs, how
Yeah.
they ill treat employees in India. That was amazing. That was kind of eye opener to
Mhm.
most of the people. I think, at least for me, and I think everybody should watch the video and get to know what's happening in India and what kind of life that we could get if we
Mhm.
go abroad or
Mhm.
in Germany. In your
Mhm.
case.
Azar, like let me know if it's too personal, but like did you work in India, and like if you worked in India, like could you like compare a bit like how it was working in India and like in Argentina right now?
So the reason why I went to Argentina and worked there was because of my company that I'm currently working on.
Mm-hmm.
That's an international company, MNC, one
Mm-hmm.
of the Fortune 500 companies. I wouldn't take the name of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
company here. So we have a branch over there in Buenos Aires. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was deployed over there for the same project. And we have US clients. So the time zones of South American continent and North America are the same. So that's why we kind of get along easily with our clients when we work at the same
Mm-hmm.
work time zones. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we were deployed. And like there are many major companies in South American countries which is cheap labor. We have lots of companies like TCS, Accenture. TCS, there are lots of companies in Argentina, Uruguay, like any country you name it from the South American continent, you have it there. It's very cheap labor there. Many Indians go there to the South American continent and work from there for the North American clients. So that's why I went as well, and I had a great time. I saw the other part of the world. Usually, when you say America, right? Like whenever I say to my family that I'm going to Argentina, they said that they think that I'm in America. They always think that I'm in US. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever they see in the news, they ask me. For example, while I was there, there was this black
Yeah.
incident, right? The person was killed by the police. So
Mm-hmm.
people were asking me like, "What happened? Are you safe? How are the protests?" Dude, I'm in Argentina, which is
Yeah.
the tip of South American continent, and US is not.
Yeah.
So basically, what I would say is people need to understand there is a huge difference between North America and South America, and there are a lot of countries in South America, and
Mm-hmm.
Argentina is in the deep south near to Antarctica. I had plans to go to Antarctica as well for travel, but COVID messed up everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would like to say, that people needs to explore this South American part.
Mm-hmm.
But for Indians, like as far as what I saw, Indians always go to the countries where there is money. But in these South American countries, the economies are not good. So that's why most of the Indians do not prefer to go to South American countries.
Mm-hmm.
If you see some countries like Brazil, maybe, or Chile, Argentina was really good back then, but now it's really worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be. I'm not sure if you know the situation of Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
What happened with Venezuela and stuff? It was a good country back then. It had good petroleum and stuff, and something happened and it went to the gutter. So similar kind of situation is happening in Argentina, and the economy is really bad. And Indians won't prefer going there and getting a job and sending money back to India. So the what I understand is people go to Europe, US,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe to the first world countries, Australia, just to send money back to their home or to do some savings and they could get some assets back in India.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not going to happen if you're into some South American countries,
Mm-hmm.
except if you are paid in some European currency or US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest challenge why most Indians do not go to South American countries.
So we are having German elections right now in September 2021. And a lot of these parties, they are modeling the Argentina model like for Germany, which I just cannot understand. So for example, in Argentina you have a wealth tax where like I think the people who have above 1 million euros, they have to like give 5% or something of their wealth away every single year, and these
Yeah.
kind of things, and raising the taxes. And like the thing is, like, government has no control at all on themselves on how they're spending money and what places they're spending money. But when it comes to taking money, they will always like go to the rich. They will never check themselves like how they're
E-
spending
exactly.
money and things.
So this is one more thing I learned, which is called as socialism.
Mm-hmm.
In most of the developed nations, there is capitalism, and in all, mostly predominantly in all South American countries, there is socialism there. For example, in Argentina, the public universities are free for everyone. The healthcare is free.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they make money to spend on these things? They get
Yeah, yeah,
it from the
taxes.
taxes. Who like
Yeah, but I think
the
like
middle class.
taxes. I think taxes is a very like weak argument. For example, there are also like countries which don't charge crazy amount of taxes and they're still able to do fine. But I just feel like because of the COVID scenario, like so many countries got this freedom or like an excuse that hey, we are spending so much money and now we are going to take it from the rich, and this kind of like nonsense. I
And
think.
it's also for buying votes from
Yeah,
poor
yeah,
people.
yeah,
Like they in like I let me tell you this.
yeah.
I haven't seen so people being so chilled
Mm-hmm.
as Argentines.
Mm-hmm.
Like they won't do anything. They'll be always in the parks, hanging out with friends, having parties. Like there's a drink called mate. They'll be sipping that. They'll be so relaxed. They're not bothered of anything. No matter where the world heads to, they
Mm-hmm.
don't care. They are just happy with their government. Like even during COVID times, right? Like the government paid a good amount for the
Mm-hmm.
citizens so that they don't have to do anything. So
Mm-hmm.
the poor people are being bought by the politicians.
Yeah,
If you see that way for Indians, since our channel is all about
yeah.
Indians, I would say that you can easily get PR in Argentina if you
Mm-hmm.
just live there. If you have a job there for 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
for example, I just worked for 1 year. If I
Mm-hmm.
had worked for more 2 years, I would have gotten a PR. My friends
Nice.
who have already completed the three years, like my company itself is applying PRs for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the only major problem I see in living in Argentina for the people who are just entering is the language.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing works in English.
Mm-hmm.
So you must learn Spanish, and that helps you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to help you in securing a job. Since my company was an MNC and we work in English, that wasn't a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was done by the company, so it was not a big challenge for us. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go outside, catch a bus, buy something, it's highly difficult. I struggled a lot in the initial days. Then I had to learn Spanish. I'm so happy that I learned another language now, and I see many opportunities outside just for learning that language. So I would say for the people who are just going into the country, Spanish is really important. If you have plans to settle in Argentina, it's a really good country. If you don't care about money,
Mm-hmm.
if you
Yeah, yeah,
don't care about savings, if you don't care about your future, then I would say that you can have great time in Argentina.
yeah.
It's so beautiful. People are so friendly,
Mm-hmm.
so welcoming. Like I have heard, like I have it's a metropolitan city. Buenos Aires is a metropolitan city. I have seen a lot of people from different countries coming there. I've
Mm.
seen people from Germany too, and French. Like I went to a trip with French and German students, the exchange program students. So what I saw in that trip was the Europeans, especially Germans, and Germans are very calm, polite. They don't interact much with people.
Yeah,
That's what I saw.
in the
If you
starting,
see,
yes.
yeah, if you see French people, they were within their own people, like
Yeah.
the French only, and they were like, since they were students, they were kind of notorious, like doing crazy things, but they were within French people. But the like I had like 5 or 4 German people. They were so quiet. And if you see Latinos, so Latinos are the people who speak Spanish and Portuguese. So they are fun loving. They always
Yeah,
interact with
yeah.
people. They talk. They have great fun. Like
Yeah.
they welcome others, and that happens in Spain as well. If you take in Europe, I think apart from Spain, like I like to observe people. So
Mm.
with what I saw is that in Europe, maybe Spain is the only country which is kind of open to
Yeah.
people, and others are pretty warm, and they are good, but they don't trust people that easily.
Mm.
Only when you know them personally, they would interact with you well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my point was, if you want to have fun, just enjoy your life, then Argentina is the best country.
Mm. Yeah, I think I can definitely second that. So in my university, for example, anybody I met from Mexico or not from Argentina, I met somebody from Venezuela, Colombia. So I think everybody was chilled out. So everybody's happy.
Yeah,
Everybody's like, happy to talk and things like that. But yes, like with Germans, like you see that like you have to put some extra effort inside. And it's
yeah,
like in the first class, you go inside and everybody just observes each other and they're like, okay, like these are the people in my class. In the
yeah.
second one, maybe there's some hi hello or something. In the third one, like they slowly start talking. So it's like
Hmm.
this gradual like transition with them. But I think like with people from South America, it's very chilled out. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's definitely very cool. But Azar, I was taking a look at the salaries and stuff there in Argentina. So I
Yeah.
saw that the salaries, like at least the average salary, is not so high. What is your experience? Like you must have seen your friends going to US and stuff, and you see other
Yeah.
people in Argentina. Like how was the difference there?
So mostly people come to Argentina from my company just to go to the US or Canada.
Okay.
So it's like a bridge
Mm.
between India and to the North American countries. Getting a visa from India is hard in our company, but getting a visa from Argentina is really easy. That's why people opt for, like, let's spend some time, 1 or 2 years here, then we could
Mm.
jump off. So that's the plan. So if you see the salaries in Argentina, it's really bad. For example, my friends who were around 34 or 35 years old, Argentine citizens,
Mm.
they would just get like 40 or 50,000 pesos, 50,000 max. Like in a normal job, 50,000 pesos is nothing.
Okay, that's
It's
440 euros or something. Okay.
yeah, that is nothing.
Yeah.
And one more biggest challenge in Argentina is converting your money into foreign currency. Recently, after the last October election,
Mm.
you can just officially buy $200 out
Unreal.
of pesos, you just from your bank. This is so impossible. We That's one of the reasons why I came back.
Mm.
You won't be able to send money to India.
Mm.
Indian value is more higher now,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say. For example, I'll just give you an example. If I'm sending 60,000 pesos,
Mhm.
Argentine pesos, to India in INR in Western Union, I would be just getting some 30,000.
Yeah, yeah.
It will just get reduced to 50%.
I see
And
that
one
here.
more,
So it's like one Argentine peso is like 77 Indian cents.
do, are you checking on Google or
Yeah,
Western
yeah, yeah.
Union?
I'm checking on Google right now.
Don't check Google. So
Hmm.
Google is just an official rate.
Hmm.
That doesn't work in the transfer apps.
Yeah, the commission and stuff. Like, of course, there's always a
Yeah,
markup.
so there are not many transfer apps too. There is
Mhm.
only one, and he's like like chore,
Yeah,
I would say. Like he steals almost everything. So we don't get the mentality to send it to India at all.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just spend it over there and have fun. That's it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so main thing is you won't be able to convert your pesos into dollars or euros,
Mm-hmm.
because officially you could get only $200.
Yeah.
And if you want to get it extra, you have to go to the black market, which
Mm-hmm.
really untrust, like that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
trustable. Like people might cheat you.
Mm-hmm.
There are some sources, trusted sources, but it's kind of risky,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. So that's one thing. You can't convert it, you
Mm-hmm.
can't send it. Then what's the
Yeah,
reason
yeah, yeah.
to earn money there? And moreover, earlier we had companies where they used to pay us in foreign currency, but
Mm-hmm.
recent rules, you can't
Yeah, yeah.
get your salaries in any foreign currency.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge measure. Even if companies are willing to pay,
Mm-hmm.
they can't do it as per the government norms.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the huge challenge. Anything with money is a trouble in Argentina. Just have to get the money there and spend it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even think of anything else.
Yeah, I was also like reading that like one of these things that they're doing is like they're doing this also because the foreign reserves in their currency are depleting heavily, and also like if you see the currency like exchange rate since 2003, I'm seeing it like one Argentine peso was like 28
Yeah,
euro cents, and now it's just a steep like downward fall,
it,
which is
it, it
now
was
right now
so
at
good back then.
yeah, yeah, it's like
I, I, I'll, I'll tell you.
0.008.
I'll tell you. So when I went there in 2019, the dollar rate was 44 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back in 2020, just 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
it was 130. Where
Unreal.
is 44 and 130?
Yeah,
Like
but
if you see Indian currency exchange with dollars, it was something around 70. No, it's between 65 and 75 for the past 15 years, I guess.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in just 1 year, this much uh, dip is horrible.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, what many people I think know about Argentina is like, of course, like you know it from the football. I think most of the times,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then like,
Messi.
but like many people are not really aware of like maybe the more economic problems that the country is recently facing,
Mhm.
which is like very, I think, interesting because I wasn't expecting this. Like, so because Europe is also like going towards this direction of like essentially like having a crusade against the rich and stuff. So what I've seen is like, for example, in Germany, what happens is like once you start earning a lot of money, you start earning like 500,000, 1 million euros, you leave Germany, you go to Dubai or you go to Cyprus, like because you're paying just 12.5% taxes there. And like the issue that I see with how like Argentina handled this situation was that if you're taxing the rich, like you are not giving them any incentive to stay in the country and make more jobs and like employ more people and
No,
things like that. They just leave. And I think like after
yeah,
they imposed this wealth tax, a lot of people left there too. So I hope
yeah.
like
Starting
that.
a starting
Mhm.
a business, being an entrepreneur, that is also like impossible.
Mm.
I met a lot of Indian people who have restaurants, like textile businesses. Even they were looking for another country to jump on.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the situation. Even to open a small shop, it's so hard. You will
Mhm.
be killed with taxes.
Mm.
You don't get the feel to open any business out there.
Yeah. Mhm. Now, do you think like Argentina is like going more towards the direction of like Venezuela or Colombia or something like the
That's
way
what the
economic?
people of Argentina say, but I don't think so. Like
Mhm.
it won't go to the extent of Venezuela,
Mhm.
but Argentina has a lot of resources, natural resources. I
Mhm.
think they would survive with that.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a very interesting, I think, conversation here. And about the safety, Azhar, like, how did you feel as an Indian? So, first of all, like, I think like the difference of skin color maybe not so dramatic, or were there like also like very white people and like you were like, yeah, I'm the only brown
Yeah,
person here.
I would say that it's not that racist,
Mm-hmm.
but racism exists, but it's within, but it's not explicit like in the US, or I'm not sure about the Europe.
US is bad. US,
Yeah,
man, like the stories you hear all the time, it's
mhm.
unreal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there is racism in Argentina, but there is like within them like secret talk, something
Mm.
like that.
Yeah.
But explicitly, there is no racism. People won't show you away just
Mm.
because you're dark, something
Yeah.
like that. People are welcoming. They are always cool. They are like no matter where you're from. Like if they see that you are a foreigner, they would like to talk to you.
Mm.
That's the situation. So there is no racism at all, I would say, in Argentina. Also, you asked about yeah, safety
Mm-hmm.
and security, right?
Yes.
So that's there. That's pretty much everywhere, right? Any major big city, metropolitan city, you would be having petty thefts. That's there always in Buenos Aires, but
Mm-hmm.
only in like some remote places. But if you are very careful, I like when I initially I was about to go to Argentina, people said that you have to be very careful. You can't take your cell phone out. Like yeah, that
Okay.
was the things they told me. My colleagues told me
Mm.
that like you can't even flash out your mobile. Like always
Mm.
keep it in your pocket. Don't use it while you are on the roads. They said all sort of stuff.
Mm.
I was very cautious, very careful. I always look around and take my mobile out. But that's true. Like
Mm.
my colleagues have lost their cell phones, their bikes, bicycles. You know, like you go to the barber shop, you park your bike. When you come back, it's not there. And mobile thefts are so easy.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
you'll be just standing on the pavement and motor chorro, we call it
Mm.
motor chorro, like the thieves in the motorbikes,
Mm-hmm.
they'll come, they'll just take and go away. Like you won't even know, in a flash of a second your mobile will be gone. So those kinds of things are always there. You have to be very careful when you take your cell phones out. Apart from that, mugging, like I haven't seen anybody being mugged
Mm-hmm.
in Argentina. Though I have seen an Indian who was traveling there. He told that he was mugged.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always there. So you just have to be
Yeah.
cautious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like this is definitely a safety part of it, like definitely plays into role. And I think this is maybe a good general advice that like, go out during the day, don't go out during the night or
Mhm.
something, like as long
But
as you're
let
not.
me tell you that
Mhm.
it's so safe in the night as well.
Okay.
I have walked. I won't even do that in India. I have
Mhm.
walked like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. coming back home alone. Nothing happened. Like there are people
How much
everywhere. This
how
is
much of that was safety and how much of that was you being just like completely new to the country?
no. Initially, I always went with people in the night,
Mm.
but after a few months, I was like, dude, it's safer, man. Like who told?
Yeah.
Like those were lies. And then I was so confident. I
Mm.
like any time of the night,
Yeah.
3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., I could walk, no
That's
problem.
nice.
And even girls could walk without any company.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens. I met a friend, like she used to skateboard at 3 a.m. and go back to her home. So
That's
yeah,
nice.
it's fine. It's fine. If something is going to happen, it's going to happen, man. Like even that happens in Chennai, you know.
Mm. Yeah, we hope for things to get better in India too someday. I mean, like it's just a harsh reality that like, that females, for example, can still not like very comfortably go out in India at night.
Hmm.
But let's
Hmm.
let's hope that like things get better. Like the main thing that I find is like, the Indians who travel abroad, like they expose themselves to a completely new way of living and completely new way of thinking and seeing that hey, like there are things that were told to me during my time in India which are essentially not like always correct or like don't need to be that way. And this is the kind of mindset you build when you're abroad, and when you come back, like you are
Hmm.
essentially like, let's say changing the country, or if you're like making videos about it, you're educating people. All of these things are very important so people understand that yes, like there's the other way of like, doing things. We talked about the permanent residency part. As are now citizenship, do you have any idea how long does it take for that?
Like I told you, if you work there for three
Mhm.
years, you can easily get it.
Right, and like the citizenship, I think, does it take longer, or like is it the exact same 3?
No, it'll take additional 8 months
Okay,
for the
okay.
paperwork. Yeah,
Mm. All right.
eligibility is 3 years, and if you start applying the paperwork and stuff, like another 8 months,
Hmm.
I guess. Yeah.
In Germany, it's like if you study in Germany, you have to work 2 years for full time, and then afterwards you can, yeah, like get your permanent residency. But
Hmm.
if you're like wanting the citizenship, then you have to live there for a total of 8 years. and they're like
Okay.
essentially 5 years
Yeah,
you have to. Yeah.
and this 3 years is just for PR, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you'll be able to get the passport
Yeah.
in
I
that
think
three
that would
years. I
take
think
longer.
it's just for 3 years. Yeah. The
Now, if
most
you
good thing I liked
yes.
about is the free of education.
Mm,
The It's totally free. Public universities is free, and like I saw in one of your videos that you need around 20 lakhs in spite of having a free education in Germany.
yeah.
But I wouldn't say like that is not even closer in Argentina. I think you could do. Uh, Let me tell you my cost of living,
Mm,
just so that we could calculate for 2 years. Okay,
yeah.
so you could get an house for 12. Okay, so I'll just cumulatively say uh 20 25,000 pesos. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you have 25,000 pesos per month and into 12,
2,500 euros. That's really not a lot.
yeah, per month, yeah.
Yeah.
You could have you could have a good life, I'm
Yeah.
saying, a
Yeah, yeah, the
good
living
place to
cost I
live.
see it's like crazy cheap. So I use this website. It's called numbeo.com to just like, take a
Hmm.
look at what kind of other countries are there. So for example, here I see like in Berlin the prices are 90% higher than Buenos Aires. Rent prices are
Yeah,
120% higher. So like of course like I think living there is definitely like super cheap and
yeah,
very nice.
super
Yeah.
cheap, like, yeah, and you have good quality,
Mm,
like like US quality.
yeah. Now, you have, of course, been to Argentina and you must have like met other people there. Like, is there a specific country that, let's say, people in Argentina talk about that, hey, like this country is doing so much better in South America, like Brazil, Chile, or like Peru or
Yeah.
something? Like, any
Hmm.
like kind of like image you can build for us
Uh-huh.
for South America from what you
Yeah.
know?
One more thing I wanted to say is like all South American people want to migrate to Europe or US.
Yeah,
Okay, that's their
yeah,
goals or
like
dreams.
India.
Okay, so it's, yeah, like India, but yeah, but Indians have they want to go anywhere they want,
Yeah.
but they have, but South Americans are specific. They just want Europe and US. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
For Argentines, Uruguay is
Mm-hmm.
an easy access.
Mm-hmm.
That's their first. Like if they're frustrated, they'll just go to Uruguay. It's just 2 hours in a ship or a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, yeah.
Uruguay is a really small country, but stable economy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of the benefits that we have in Argentina, we have
Mm-hmm.
them in Uruguay as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I have plans to go to visit Uruguay as well, because I met few people who welcomed me to Uruguay. So it's pretty much the same. Even
Mm-hmm.
there, if you stay for 3 years, you will get the PR, and education is free, healthcare is free.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Nice.
first thing that comes to their mind is Uruguay.
Mm-hmm.
And second thing they would prefer is going to Spain
Mm-hmm.
rather than other countries, because uh, they speak Spanish. They
Yeah.
wouldn't prefer Brazil much,
Mm-hmm.
because Portuguese comes in and they have to
Yeah.
change their language,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't like always prefer to learn a new language,
Mm-hmm.
maybe English or some Portuguese. So
Yeah.
their second option will be towards Spain. So first, when they're frustrated, they'll go to Uruguay, or next is Spain
Mm-hmm.
or Europe. And I don't think they would prefer any other country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe Chile,
Mm-hmm.
but Argentina and Chile are like India, Pakistan.
Okay.
They
Okay.
have some border ties,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't prefer Chile as well. But
Okay.
for other people, I have met few Russians who are working in Chile. So Chile is also a very good country to migrate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very nice. That's interesting to know. So I think like so far I've guessed that I think like Argentina is a pretty fun country. You can make friends
Yeah,
easily. You can live a nice life. The cost of living is cheap.
yeah,
The economy
yeah,
unfortunately is not doing well right now, but let's hope it changes in the future.
yeah.
And
Hopefully, yeah,
like with the current like regulations that you said, I think like that's I would say like it's more of a, for example, personally for me it would be more like a tourist country that I just go, I like spend some time traveling around.
yeah. You can chill out. Yeah,
Yeah.
chill out
But
to the max.
yeah, yeah. But I think like for
And one
settling
more thing I
down long
forgot to
term.
say is
Mm-hmm.
that when you talk about travel,
Mm-hmm.
the flight tickets. If you just check the flight tickets from India to Argentina, and flight tickets from India to the US, you would know the difference. In Qatar Airways, if you book, there are only two direct flights to Argentina from India. One is Qatar, and the other one is Emirates.
Mhm.
And if you want to take some other route, you have to go through Africa or something like that, which is a cheaper version. But the direct ones are Qatar and Emirates, and it will
Mm.
cost you around one
Holy
lakh
shit.
20,000.
I see that. So
Yeah,
1,300 euros or something. For us, like the flight to India
yeah,
costs 300 euros, 400 euros, something
yeah.
like that.
Like
Insane.
going to US is so cheaper from India,
Mm.
but
Mm.
going to South America is really expensive.
Yeah.
That's another reason why Indians don't go to South American countries.
Mm-hmm.
The cheapest, by the way, I would tell you the cheapest way to go to South American countries is through Spain. Go to
Mm.
Europe. From there, you could easily go to any country in South American continent. So it would cost you around just. I think I have seen a guy who has just gone with 20,000
Mm-hmm.
to Argentina from Spain.
That's very
So,
cool. Like my eyebrows went up right now because I was like just
yeah,
searching these prices.
like like
And
we can't even come back for
yeah.
vacations. We have to think twice. The
Yeah.
salary that we get,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
It's like
we,
for from New Delhi to Washington, it says like what 527 euros, but to Argentina
yeah.
it's 1,300, almost 800 euros more, twice the money, man. Okay, crazy.
Mostly people do come for vacations like
Yeah.
2 years once, or if they're getting married,
Mm.
or they just don't want to come back, and they just go to the US and then come back. Like when they get the US opportunity, right? They'll go there, then make their vacations back home.
Perfect. I think this was a pretty nice call. Azhar, do you have some last tips or things that you would like to share for people thinking about going to Argentina?
I would like to summarize it
Mm-hmm.
saying, if you want to have fun, you want to like live your life for a few months, go to Argentina. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to earn money, do some savings or build some career, then Argentina is not your country.
Mm-hmm. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I will put Azhar's channel, YouTube channel, down in the description below so that you can take a look at that, follow his videos, check out what kind of content he's doing. It's very interesting. So, take a look at that. Azhar, thank you so much again for joining in on this call. It was nice talking to
Thank you
you.
so much, for having me. Thanks. It was a pleasure.
Perfect. Then we'll see each other later. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you.